Hey, my friends and things. Tonight we shall be reading Valentine. I hope you're gonna enjoy yourself. And so Tom found out being sent off to the gut shooting. All the other princesses are busy celebrating the capture of Saltbrook. After a long, embarrassing lecture in Pomeroy's office, so be it not for me, striking a senior princess, what would your paladins have thought? He pushed over the tournament court. He waited for a down elevator. When it came, it was crowded. He saw the upper apartments were packed. Arrogant-looking men and women from the Guild of Engineers. The most powerful of the four great guilds, which ran in London. They gave Tom the creeps. Their bold heads and those long white rubber coats. As he stayed, standing in the movement is life. What we're going into is keep on moving. Down all the messages. Bakerloo, Highover, Low Holborn, Bethel Green. Every stop, another crowd of people was surged into a car. And against the banker wall, until almost a relief. At the bottom, the gut was like London dismantled towns. A stinking yard of factories and jaws pouring no sensual. Tom loathed it. It was always noisy, and staff workers from the worst years who were dirty and frightening, convicts from the deep gut prisons. Who wouldn't worse? The heat from the deep gut was the heat down here gave him a headache. That. And the sulphurous air made him sneeze. The flicker of gold Avalon groves which hit the walkways hurt his eyes. But the Guild of Historians made sure some of his staff were on hand. And the town was being digested. And tonight he would have to join them and go out about remaining a tough old foreman of the gut. Any books and antiques aboard which were rightful property of his guild. And history was just as important as bricks and iron coal. He fought his way out of the interment, and hurried towards the Guild of Historians as well, where tubular cupboards, corridors, lined with green ceramic tiles, and across metal catwalks, high above the fiery pus of the digestion yards. Far below, he could see Suffolk being torn to pieces, so tiny now, dwarfed by the vastness of London. Big giant dismantled machines are crawling around it, and on trucks, singing above on cranes and climbing over it, on hydraulic spider legs, and its wheels and axles had both been taken off, as workers being started on chassis. Circular jaws, as big as a Ferris wheels, fitted to the deck plates, flowing. Fumes of sparks, great blasts of heat came billowing from the furnaces and smelters. Things started to look even brighter. But so we could not games bonus and not been in a museum or library, and the small heaps that had been south from the town's junk shops were already being packed in the crates for that journey up to tier 2. If he was lucky, he might be able to finish early and catch the end of the celebration tonight. If it was old Arkengarth or Dr. Weymouth, he was doomed. They always made you work your whole shift, whether there was anything to do or not. And if it was Pertry or Miss Plum, he might be alright. A little puzzle if he's going to lose his way. As he hurried towards the supervisor's office, he began to realize that someone much more important than any of them was on gut duty tonight. There was a bug parked outside the office, a sleek black bug, like a guild's emblem painted on the, and in a smiling. Much frustrated the usual staff, Two men and another high-ranking ghosts stood waiting beside it. They were rough-looking types, in spite of their plush clothes. Not sure. And Tom knew at once who they were. Pusey and Gwencher. They reformed their pirates, who had been the head historian's favorite servant for 20 years, who pirated the 34 elevator whenever he flew up on an expedition. Valentine is here! Tom thought and tried not to stare as he hurried past them up the steps. Thaddeus Valentine was Tom's hero, a former scavenger who had put him to become one of the most famous archaeologists, and also its head historian. Much to the envy and disgust of people like Pondry, Tom kept a picture of him tackled to the dormitory wall above his bunker. He had read his books, Adventures of Practical Historians, in the American desert, across the dead continent with gun, camera, and a shipper. Until he knew them by heart. The proudest moment of his life when he was 12, when time had come down to present the apprentices and the prizes. Quitting one Tom had won an essay by Fig Antiques. He still remembered every word of the speech of Great Man. Never forget, the apprentice says, that we historians are the most important guild in our city. We don't make as much money as the merchants, but we create knowledge. It is worth a great deal more. We need to be responsible for steering London like navigators. But where would navigators be if we had presented the giant maps and charts? That's what a good idea is. Just remember that every machine they have ever developed is based on some fragment of old tech. Ancient high technology. And the museum keepers have preserved in our thoughts. Or can have dug up. Old Tom had been able to manage by way of pride by the mumbled, "Thank you, sir." They scurried back to his seat. So never occurred at one time would we have remembered him. But when he opened the door after the sewer's office, it's Natsworthy, isn't it? The apprentice who's so good at spotting fakes. I have to watch my step tonight. You'll find me out there. It wasn't much of a joke, but it broke through the awkwardness that usually existed between the apprentice senior and senior guild. Tom relaxed. Let's just stop hovering. And step right inside. Holding out his note from Cromwell. Sam jumped to his feet and came striding over to take it. He was a tall, handsome man of nearly 40. Let's say 49. Enough of Brian, whatever, in the 40s, with a mane of silver friction. No, sorry. A mane of silver friction. Riding over to take it. Through a web or whatever. Fighting, eh? Why did he put us up like deserve a back way? It stakes if I'm my mum and dad, so. I see. Are you the son of David and Bergen, Robbie? Yes, sir! But I was only 6 when the big tilt happened, and I don't really remember them. They're good stories. I hope you'll follow in the footsteps. Oh, yes, sir! I mean, I hope so too. Oh, Mum and Dad. Killed when part of sheepside collapsed on the table. Nobody had ever spoken like that about war. He felt his eyes filling with tears. He felt he could, as if he could tell Valentine anything at all. He was just on the point of saying how much he missed his parents. And going when a wolf walked in the office. Hey, what, wolf? What? Ow! Oh, do behave! Oh, do behave! Oh, do behave! The girl's voice. And a moment later, the girl's self was there, bending over the beast, singing softly from his cheek. The fierce emerald eyes glowed when Tom heard its tail. Don't worry, she laughed with my husband. He's a lamb. I mean, he's a wolf. Not really, but he's as gentle as a lamb. Sorry, my fellow friends, but tonight's show ends. I've up. If you have any knowledge on any of how the book works or these images, please post them in the comments below. I'll do whatever I can to read them. Now, I must bid you adieu. Happy to stay, my compatriots, and good day. Good night, whatever.